back there. Now comes the Dollar Restoration. Good Breaker Sign, Jeff Lindsay, Gary Stewart Racing, Gary Sarah Stewart, P2 Design, Matt Clinton, Christina Durboraw, Christopher and Terry Cottrell, and Howard and Hard Driving of Winchester, Virginia. It is qualifying time tonight here at Hagerstown.
Apologize, check for the PA, just having some issues here tonight. Greg Satterley, Matt Cosner up front in heat race number 1. Justin Can, Roy Deese Jr. back in that second row. Kyle Lee, Brian Bernheisel, Chad Julius, Keith Jackson as we get set to go. Heat race number 1. Satterley down low, Cosner up high. Going to be Satterley grabbing the lead down the back straightaway here on lap number 1. As the field works back into turn number 3 and 4, Satterley with that lead back to the stripe. Be Cosner in second, another 66 appearing in the form of Justin Can down to the bottom side. Can gets a low side momentum off turn 2 and powers by into second spot. Kyle Lee back in fourth. Top 6 drivers transferring into tonight's Super Late Model main event. Satterley takes it back into 1 and 2. Can in second, going to be Cosner holding on to third. All right, down the back straightaway. Right now, battle is on for that number 4 position. Again, top 6 transferring to tonight's late model features. Satterley across the stripe. Halfway on the board that time by. 4 in the books. Can in second. Cosner third. Lee in fourth. Deese in the number 5 spot. Brian Bernheisel trying to fend off the efforts of Keith Jackson down the back straightaway. Jackson peeking to the inside. That's for the transfer spot. Back to lap number 5 as we keep our eye on that. Bernheisel taking the low line that time by. Jackson likewise. Bernheisel opens up a few car lengths of a gap to hold on to that 6th and final transfer spot. 2 laps to go here in qualifier number 1. Justin Can, great effort for that driver out of Huntington, Pennsylvania. Second spot, Cosner in third. Kyle Lee gaining in fourth. Here comes Keith Jackson. He wants the transfer spot to the inside of Brian Bernheisel. And Roy Deese in the 05, he begins to slow. Trouble for your 8-time track champion. He was comfortably in a spot, and now Deese heads off into the pits. So that now will put Jackson into the transfer position. Chad Julius in the number 5. He's a good half straightaway back in 7. Checkered is out meanwhile. Greg Satterley taking the checkered flag. Justin Can, Matt Cosner, Kyle Lee, they'll be the top 4. Brian Bernheisel, Keith Jackson, the top 6. Tribute Weaver trying to get a little redemption tonight from the number 1 spot. He and Matt Spinagle, the Bedford winner from a couple of weekends ago. They'll lead us to qualifier number 2. 8 laps, top 6 to transfer. Spinagle trying to make the high line work, but that low line off at 2, working for Weaver. They'll be dead even down into turn number 3 and 4. Weaver to the bottom side. Spinagle up top, battle for the number 1 spot, coming back for lap number 1. It'll be Weaver grabbing that edge, and he'll tuck it right to the bottom. Here comes Mason Ziegler on the outside. Powers by into second around Spinagle. Ziegler, another strong run earlier tonight in qualifying. Ziegler still up in the groove, trying to catch Weaver off at turn 4. Gonna be Spinagle in third. 4th position to Gary Stuller. Top 5, Andy Anderson, then Bernheisel. Here goes LaSalle around Bernheisel. He'll get the transfer spot. Jason Schmidt, Cody Leiter, Keith Toombs, they're all back there fighting for that 6th and final transfer position with 3 laps complete. Once in front, Weaver with the lead. Ziegler looked like he was about to chomp everybody, but he is about a good 10-15 car lengths back in second. Spinagle third, Stuller fourth, LaSalle and Andy Anderson side by side for the number 5 spot, and that's also the transfer position here in qualifier number 2. No challenge from behind on Anderson. Bernheisel back in 7th. He's got some pedaling to do to catch up in a transfer spot. then Tyler Schmidt, followed by Kuntz, and the 25 of Cody Leiter. 5 complete that time by. Field to be looking at 2 laps to go when Weaver brings them back to the line. Weaver got the 2 to go. White flag will be coming up this time by for the Clear Spring, Maryland driver. Last at the track, late model sportsman winner. And he takes it back into that 1-2 turn. That Jeff Robinson look-alike machine honoring Shady Grove slingshot as he heads it down the back straightaway. Ziegler, Spinagle, they are the top 3, followed by Stuhler, LaSalle, and Andy Anderson. Checkered is out. Qualifier number 2. It'll be Justin Weaver taking the victory. Ziegler will be second as the rest of the field makes across the stripe. Spinagle coming over in third. Stuhler, Nathan LaSalle, and Andy Anderson, the top 6. Yoder. And we have got the 2 Saggy Tribute winners, the 45, a Hardy on the inside of row number 2 to 24, Dylan Yoder on the outside of row 3. Those 2 looking to become a repeat winner in Super Late Model competition here on the final weekend of Super Action at Hagerstown Speedway. 8 laps, again, top 6 to qualify. Eckert and Feathers side by side with Eckert grabbing that lead off turn 2. Feathers will tuck in behind him. Going to be Hardy and Knob side by side for the number 3 spot. Hardy down to the bottom. He'll get third. Knob in the number 4 position right now, back for lap number 1. 0 of Andrew Yoder back there in 5th. 24 of Dylan Yoder. He's in the transfer spot. And the 21P of Jacob Piper not far behind, within a couple of car lengths of striking distance. Leaders coming back, 2 laps complete. Knob continuing to try and make his way up, but the 0 of Andrew Yoder gets underneath. Gains another spot up. Yoder now up into 4th. Dylan Yoder, meanwhile, trying to get off the bubble and catch up to Gene Knob. He knows Jacob Piper's there likewise. Good battle for that 6th and final transfer spot as they come back for lap number 3. Oh, Rick Eckert right now. Missed out on the Saggy Tribute a couple of weeks ago. Looking for a motor. Finally got everything put back together. And Scrub is scrubbing the field right now. Feathers currently in 2nd. Hardy holding on to 3rd. Yoder, Knob. Make it Andrew Yoder, Gene Knob, and Dylan Yoder. Top 6 at halfway. Top 5 drivers make it top 6, evenly spaced out. And again, back in 7th, that's where Jacob Piper still trying to get a transfer spot. Chasing down Dylan Yoder, but it's about 5 to 7 car length separation with 2 laps to go here in tonight's 3rd and final late model qualifier. White flag in the air that time by. Eckert continued to stretch that advantage out. Trevor Feathers, 5 over Hardy. Another 5 back to Andrew Yoder. 5 more back to Gene Knob. And looks like Dylan Yoder may get that final transfer spot, keeping Piper off his bumper as Rick Eckert takes qualifier number 3. 20 of Trevor Feathers will come home in 2nd. 45 of Hardy. The 0 of Andrew Yoder. 1 of Gene Knob, and the 24. Dylan Yoder will be the top 6 to transfer.
Well, he gets down to go here on the front straightaway. And after that, the ready to get down here and get the round. Great drive in down at the Government space.
Green flag in the air in the first 5-lap qualifier. Evan Faust wasting little time trying to get to the inside of the 11A of James Spielman. 19 to Mike Fuller, the outside pole sitter, dropping back to the tail end of the field as Faust grabs it down in turn 3 and 4. Spielman back in second off that fourth turn. 32, Tyler Fisher sporting some different colors. Usually used to seeing him in some white trim on that car, all black tonight. And right now he's up in the third. 42 of Andrew Seffel challenging Nick Vogel to the inside. That battle for the number 4 position. They're still side by side. Seffel down bottom, Vogel up top for fourth as they come back for lap number 2. Well, Seffel disposed of Vogel. Now he goes to the outside of the 32 of Tyler Fisher. As always, Andrew Seffel very strong, way up high off turn number 4 as they come back for 2 laps to go. Faust by a couple of car lengths over Spielman. Then a good half turn back in the battle for third. Vogel got back around Seffel as he got high off of turn number 4. And now Vogel goes after Fisher in the battle for the number 3 position, side by side, down in turn 3 and 4. White flag in the air this time. Well, Faust got that lead, but Spielman keeping him honest. Only about 3 car lengths separation between the top 2. Meanwhile, Fisher fending off Vogel. He's got a few car lengths advantage right now with Seffel rounding out the top 5. Checker to the air, qualifier number 1, and Evan Faust, and that's 78. Making their way back to another victory tonight. Well, soon to be 3 laps done in our pure stock third and final qualifier tonight. 2 laps to go as they come back to the stripe this time by. And so far it's to be the 8th of Keith Reed out in front. Current point leader, Randy Lindenberg, the one-time feature winner, challenging hard down to the bottom side. They'll have a good battle off of turn number 2. As Lindenberg draws even down that back straightaway. The 57 of Bill Ecton Jr. back in third. 141 of Caravello and the 12 of Thompson. They are the top 5. White flag. Meanwhile, in the air, Reed fending off Lindenberg that time as he come back for the 1-to-go indication. Final lap in our second pure stock qualifying event. Reed fended off Lindenberg and then opened up a few car lengths advantage. He'll get the checkered flag off turn number 4. In our second of 3 qualifiers tonight, Lindenberg will come home in second. The 57 of Bill Ecton Jr. in third. 141 of Caravello and the 12 of David Thompson. They will be your top 5 in qualifier number 2 tonight. Down the backstretch, our final pure stock qualifier of the night. 5 laps to get the distance here this evening. Again, super late models for your dash race. You can make your way to the staging area. Assumption in the 30, grabbing the lead down in turn number 1. Yonker in his second. Going to be Blake Reed on the inside of Ellington Sr. He'll grab the 3rd spot. Walters in the 03 from the back of the field, trying to catch a couple of positions early on lap number 1. And he's on the inside of Ecton as the field comes back for lap number 1. Yonker all over that rear bumper of Assumption. They have a few car lengths over Reed. Slips a little, and here comes Walters to the bottom side. So he gains 4 spots in a lap and a half. The 03 of Danny Walters now up into the number 3 position. Blake Reed now back there in 4th. Ecton Sr. in the 67, rounding out the early top 5. So we'll see if Walters can catch up to that battle up front. He's still got a little bit of time to go, about 2.5 laps in tonight's pure stock 3rd and final qualifier. Still the 30 of Assumption, about a car length advantage as he comes back to the stripe over Nathaniel Yonker. 2 to go. That time by as we'll be looking for the white flag and trouble off turn 2. 64 William Crook on the wrong way. Spins it down to the bottom side off of that 2nd turn, and white flag will come out. Trouble by or caution. White flag will be displayed while ago, I should say, and now we're going to be looking for the checkered flag. Green is out, 1 lap to go. As it's going to be Walters. He already got around Yonker. He's trying. And bottom side off of 2 usually works very well. He's dead even with Yonker down the back straightaway. Going to be Assumption by about 2 car lengths. Back into turn number 3 and 4. Walters gets 2nd spot. Here comes Blake Reed in the 8R. He's down to the inside. Yonker's in the 31. Looks like he's got some problems. Smoke from behind. Going to be Assumption taking the victory. Walters in 2nd. Blake Reed, John Catlett, and William Crook. They will be your top 5. Tough break for the 31 of Yonker. Again, a little smoke coming from that car in 3 and 4, and drops back several spots on the finishing. As we mentioned, Justin Weaver in that number 3, mechanical issues 2 weeks ago, was never able to get out. Eckert was not here because he was waiting to get a motor back, and he finally has gotten himself back in good shape. Justin Can, the 66, very strong, and Trevor Feathers in that number 20. 5 quality super late model drivers making the way off of turn number 4. And our 6-lap dash here in the Nathan Durboraw Ronnie McBee tribute race. Weaver trying to pinch down Satterley. He'll do it very effectively. Grabs that number 1 spot from the outside. Satterley back to 2nd. Eckert, a very tight top 3 as they make that back in 1 and 2. Make it 3 and 4 this time. And back for the stripe. He can back in 4th, and Feathers rounding out the top 5. Again, super late model B-Main. Super late model B-Main drivers to the staging area. Super late model B-Main drivers to the staging area, please. All right, Weaver back in turn number 1 and 2. 2 laps of our 6 on the board. Satterley about 5 car lengths back in 2nd. Another 3 back to Rick Eckert with Can and Feathers. Everybody single file as he gets set for cross flags halfway in tonight's super late model dash. Can look very strong in his heat race, but having some struggles in this dash race. A little out of shape off at 2, almost tagged the wall. Trevor Feathers now trying to take advantage and move up 1 more spot in the starting order in tonight's 44-lap A-Main event, or 41-lapper, as he still haunts the inside of Can. He may have that opportunity this time. Down low off at 2, give Feathers the 4th position. Meanwhile, white flag out this time by for Justin Weaver. On cruise control down the backstretch. Weaver, a good quarter of a straightaway lead. Satterley comfortably over Rick Eckert. He'll come back. The checkered flag in hand, and Justin Weaver. And that Jeff Robinson throwback scheme taking tonight's super late model dash. Satterley edging Rick Eckert for the number 2 spot with Trevor Feathers and Justin Can, the top 5. Now, once again, 10 laps of distance tonight. Top 6 will transfer in. Again, semi-lates for your main event. That will be coming up next. Semi-late drivers for your main event. You can make your way to the staging area. 5 of Chad Julius, a 31 of Jim Bernheisel will lead us off from the front row. This last 10-lap qualifier for the Supers. Still side by side, Julius trying to see if he can gain that spot. He and Bernheisel side by side for the lead down the backstretch. Piper in third, Sweeney in the 44S. And then the 24 wide, Jim Yoder there, the current top 5. Stacking up behind there, just outside the transfer spot, Matt Naylor had a little issue, and that stacked a few others up behind him. But it's going to be Bernheisel grabbing the lead, Julius in second, Piper, Sweeney, Yoder, and Coots. They are the top 6 right now. Coots having his share of problems with a little bit of smoke trailing from that car in every segment. Still seeing signs of that smoke, but he's got the transfer spot right now with the 41 of Matt Naylor trying to bear down. 24 wide, Jim Yoder looking to move up one more notch. He is the closest one to battle in the top 5, right behind the 44S of Scott Sweeney. Leaders coming back for lap 3. Still Bernheisel well in control. Julius and Piper a very tight second and third. Yoder still digging away underneath of Sweeney. May have that opportunity this time off turn 2, but still can't quite make it happen. The lead of Keith Kuhn still in 6th. 41 of Naylor about 3 car lengths back in 7th. Halfway, about to go on the board this time. Yoder finally makes the pass work over Sweeney off turn number 2. That'll move him up comfortably into the number 4 position as the leaders come by for halfway. 5 down, 5 to go as it continues to be Jim Bernheisel in control. 25 of Cody Leiter pulling off into the pit area on the back straightaway. 5 of Chad Julius. 21 of Piper. 24 wide of Yoder. Once he got around Sweeney, you could tell he was being held up a little bit. Closing on Piper very quickly. Piper up high, Yoder down to the bottom side. They may have a battle coming for third here in a moment. Yoder with the good run off of turn number 2, and indeed he'll draw even with Piper down the back straightaway. They are a turn back of your leader, Jim Bernheisel, who puts lap 7 in tonight's B-main on the board. The 5 of Chad Julius in second, but the side-by-side battle good for third. Yoder down bottom, and he will force Piper a little bit higher up in the groove, and Yoder in the 24 wide grabs that third position. Piper in 4th, Sweeney and Kuntz the top 6 with 2 laps to go here in tonight's B-main event. Top 6 spots, very secure right now. The distance between Kuntz and the next driver back, Matt Naylor, he along with Schmidt. They have a ways to go, a good half turn. As the white flag comes out in tonight's B-main, Jim Bernheisel well in control. Veteran Jim Yoder, he's not done. He wants one more spot at least. He'll try to make the drag race with Chad Julius win. As he goes to the inside, looks like Julius almost let him go by. As Jim Bernheisel takes tonight's B-main event, Jim Yoder further back in the field, coming back for a strong second. Chad Julius, Jacob Piper, Scott Sweeney, and Keith Kuntz will be our final qualifiers in tonight's Durboraw McBee Tribute event. Get set for the first feature event at this time. If you could please rise in the stands as you are able for tonight's national anthem.
drive in and
Yeah. So far this year, 5 different drivers have found victory lane, the 65. Dylan Wilson, the 1C of Steve Kent, both 2-time winners this year. And the 81 of Jason Giesemann, the other 1-time winner in the field. 15 laps of distance, and the green flag is out tonight in our first feature at Hagerstown. And it will be Kearns at that number 83, grabbing the lead from the outside. Road number 1, Kuntz feeling the pressure. Here comes Kent and the 65 of Wilson. Those are the two-time winners so far. Just in front of them, Kuntz and Nichols, as they are stacked up off of turn number 4. Going to be Kearns leading that first lap. And holding on to a healthy lead. Nichols down to the bottom side of the 7 machine. He'll grab second. Kuntz holding on to third, but here comes Wilson in the 65. Sights in the 99K rounding out the early top 5 as they work it back into turn number 3 and 4. Actually, the 03 of Brady Neff is up in there as well. He'll be 5th. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, nose to tail this time in turn number 1 and 2. Kent, the 1C, looked like he was ready to make a charge on the first lap, and now he's had to regather. He's side by side with Sights back there in 6th position as 3 quick laps will go on the board here in semi-late action. Kearns and Nichols, top 2. 65 of Wilson, the most recent winner and 2-time winner in 2nd spot. Kuntz, the pole sitter, trying to hold on to 4th. Actually, it's going to be the 03 of Neff to the inside, followed by Sights and the 22 of Sweeney and the 1C of Kent as they work it back for lap 4. Wilson now making noise down to the bottom side. The battle's on for second. Could be over quickly, and they are closing quickly on Brian Kearns. Only a couple of car lengths separation between those two as they work it back into turn number 3 and 4. Wilson's car working very well down bottom. He'll grab that spot from Nichols as 5 of our 15 on the board. We hit the 1/3 mark in tonight's semi-late feature event. Wilson not done. He wants to dig a little bit deeper to the bottom side of Kearns. Pulls up to that left rear quarter panel and now draws even. Surging down in turn number 3 and 4 to the bottom side, and Dylan Wilson puts the 65 back in a very familiar spot this year in the number 1 position here in lap 6. 6 of Wayne Hallbaker limping down the back straightaway. It looks like he'll hit the pits this time by as the leaders head down the back chute. Kearns in 2nd, Nichols 3rd, going to be Neff in 4th. Kent, the 1C now in the top 5. Another driver drifting high in the turn number 2 area. That's going to be your pole sitter Kuntz. He'll drop it down. Looks like he'll be able to make it off into the pit area as well. The one's in front, Dylan Wilson stretching that advantage out. Kearns holding off Nichols, adds a car length separation. Neff and Kent, the top 5, as they come back for lap number 8, halfway on the board in tonight's semi-late feature event. Everybody evenly spaced out as Wilson stretches that advantage out. A couple of car lengths between 2nd through 5th positions. Back to the stripe for lap number 9. Kearns a good run. The 83 on the outside of that front row. Still holding on to 2nd. Nichols a little bit of trouble off of turn number 2. And he got out of the gas, and that put Neff at the 03 right on that rear bumper. Here comes the 1C of Steve Kent. He tightens the field up in that top 5 as they come back for 5 laps to go. Kent to the inside of Neff, and he will gain 1 more position in the order up into 4th. Down in turn number 1. Wilson, meanwhile, stretching that advantage out by a half straightaway. Well, Wilson puts lap 12 on the board that time by. Kearns is solidly in second. Nichols now feeling the pressure of Steve Kent. And the ongoing battle for third. Kent trying the high line. Going to be Nichols down bottom. Jeff, the 03, a very tight fifth as problems now beset the 88Z of Isaiah Miller drifting down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go meantime for Wilson this time by. Kent can make the outside work. This time he'll go to the inside as they go by the slowing machine of Miller. Trying to make it into that entrance of turn number 1 and 2. Looks like he may be able to do it. And we'll be looking at the white flag this time by. Miller hits the pits and Wilson hits the flag stand for the 1 to go indication. Field tightening up. Kearns getting around the Mills machine. And here comes Steve Kent. He and Nichols still have that battle going on for third. And now they bring it up to Brian Kearns. Very tight battle for second. Almost a straightaway advantage for Dylan Wilson of the 65. The Cassville, Pennsylvania driver looking to notch his third victory of the season, and indeed does, taking his third Simulate win of the season. Meanwhile, 3 wide for the number 2 spot. Here they come. Kearns is going to grab it. It's going to be a photo finish back to the stripe. Looks like the number 1 of Steve Kent, then Nichols, and the 03 of Brady Neff wind up in the top 5 here in tonight's finale. Simulate action. There he is, Dylan Wilson. Cassville cash cow tonight. He takes another one. Very convincing style, starting on the inside of road number 4. And again, a very impressive victory. Dylan, congratulations. It was just a couple of weeks ago we had you in victory lane, and now this has become an all too familiar place for you.
Yeah, how about it? Long time no see.
I tell you. Well, again, a very good run. Tell me about the car, how the track conditions are, and what worked best for you tonight to get you up to the front after you started back on the inside of road number 4.
Well, we got off good in the heat race, and the car was a rocket all night. We just unloaded good, and that's always helpful. The biggest thing was I was walking around all night. I mean, I looked at every corner of this place. It had to be 6, 7 times through the night, just trying to make sure I made the right adjustments, and I couldn't do it without the guys that got here helping me. I'm very blessed. I've got to give a shout out to my dad. In my 13 years behind the wheel, this is the first week he did not come with me. He has COVID. He's home recovering, unfortunately. They were just on the phone with him. Boy, is he happy, but boy, is he mad.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. He's going to get over that, and he's going to be back here before you know it. I don't know if you noticed it or not because you're too busy winning. Well, boy, was there a 3-wide scrap for second spot behind you. You might have to get some of your cohorts in the pits to tell you about that finish because it was a wild one back there. I think you're probably glad you were out in front.
Yeah, it's always nice when you're out by yourself. You can just worry about hitting your marks and just being consistent because it's so hard in traffic. And none of these guys are slouches. I mean, I'm very blessed to have a good handling car and a strong running motor that I can be up here because, I mean, for years we've been running down here probably 6, 7 years, and we struggled to win 1 a season, and here we are with 3. So when it's just your time, it's your time.
Who would you like to thank, Dylan?
Even though he's not here, first my dad for helping me all that he does, Brian and Jim. And Zane, he's started coming with us this year, and big thank you to all them guys. I would not be standing here tonight without them because without good help, this is impossible. My girlfriend, Chantel, for putting up with me, and all the time we spent here. Ryan Seger at Seger Racing Engines for the parts and the amazing motor and all the help he gives us. He's a phone call away. He's come back from vacation and bailed me out before, so I couldn't do this without him. Bollinger Builders, JL Logistics and Excavating, Purdy Trucking, Bun Trucking, Jim Bilger's Garage, Wilson's Outdoor Power, Razor Removal, he's new with us this year, so we're glad to be able to get his name out there. Roosted Chassis, Close Racing Supply, and just everybody that helps out on this deal, everybody that's down here, all the fans for coming out. We wouldn't get to do what we love without you guys spending your hard-earned money to come watch us put on a show, and hopefully I succeeded in that tonight, and I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Well, I think you did. Congratulations on number 3, and I'm sure it's not the last time we're going to talk.
Not if I have my way, it ain't.
All right, Dylan Wilson checking in for victory number 3 this year in Simulate action. Field led by the iconic cars driven by Craig Klein and Gilbert Hess, sporting the Bobby Allen and Ray Vest colors on driver's right. And when you see him head down the back straightaway, the beautiful number 41 of Jack Bland and the 44 of Speedy Hayes. And there you can see him as they make it off into turn number 1 and 2. Well, race fans, this will be the final time in 2024 for the Super Late Models. Get on your feet. It's a 4-wide salute coming in honor of Nathan Durboraw, Ronnie McBee, Speedy Hayes, Jack Bland, Ray Vest, and Bobby Allen. We're recognizing a ton of heroes tonight. Get the cameras out and wave to your favorite Super Late Model drivers in tonight's Durboraw McBee Tribute Race. All right, pace car is headed off into the pit area. Field is stacked up. Weaver, Satterley on the front row. 41 laps, $4,400. But yet now you can put your name etched in the history books. You won the Durboraw McBee Tribute. Who's it gonna be? We'll find out in 41 laps here as the Super Late Models get the green flag at Hagerstown. Weaver and Satterley side by side down the back straightaway. Gonna be still dead even as they work it down into turn number 3 and 4. Trevor Feathers got the better of Rick Eckert. He'll move up into third. Eckert diving bomb down low. It'll be Satterley to the high side of Weaver that time. He'll take lap number 1. Satterley trying to regain that composure after having some issues in the Saggy Tribute. Feathers, he's running third. Gonna be Eckert in fourth and an early top 5 for the 25Z of Mason Ziegler. Justin Can, followed by Matt Cosner, Matt Spanagle. They're the next 3 drivers in line as they come back for lap number 2. And 1 driver already off. That's going to be the 08 of Keith Koontz starting tail end of the field. Koontz made the feature and has been smoking all night long and didn't want to hurt that motor any further, so he pulls it off into the pit area. Top 4 drivers right now, they're single file. The battle is on for the number 5 position. It's going to be Justin Can, 66, looked very good earlier in the night in the heat race and then kind of fell off a little bit. He and Ziegler side by side for that number 5 position right now. Just up in front, Rick Eckert trying to chew away on the inside of Trevor Feathers. Not there for the moment as that side by side battle give it to Ziegler in 5th position. Going to be Can back in 6th, Spanagle 7th, Cosner 8th. Hardy side by side with Kyle Lee for the number 9 position. All the while, it's going to be Satterley and Weaver. They are just checking out by a turn over the rest of the field. And Ziegler again, he tries to go top shelf. He tried it in the heat race. It worked for him for a little bit. And now he has come right up on the deck lid of Feathers and Eckert. It's a very tight 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And Eckert to the bottom side. He'll grab 3rd. Feathers fighting right back and grabs that spot at the line. 2x2 racing from 3rd on back. Feathers to the high side. Eckert down bottom. Give it to Feathers in 3rd. Ziegler in 5th. And Justin Can not too far back. A little bit further back, it's still Hardy. He and Lee having a side-by-side battle. Hardy trying to win it to the bottom side, and now they swallow up the number 8 of Matt Spanagle. And here comes Hardy to the inside of Matt Cosner, and trying to move up 1 more notch in the order. All the while, the battle for 3rd, still very tight. Trevor Feathers by less than a car length. Eckert diving it down to the bottom side. Feathers, middle to high groove, and still that high side momentum still working for Feathers. Satterley and Weaver have checked out. They are close to heading the back end of the field, and we are just entering lap number 8 of tonight's 41 lap Nathan Durboraw, Ronnie McBee Tribute Race. Eckert still chewing away on the bottom side, not ready to give up, but Trevor Feathers just won't let him by. Ziegler and Can not far behind. They are in the 5th and 6th positions. To the inside, Kyle Hardy. He has got the 66 of Matt Cosner in his sights. Cosner up high, Hardy down low. As the leaders make their way back, it's going to be Satterley now, beginning to slowly close on lap traffic. The 44S of Scott Sweeney, the first one that he'll encounter. Weaver, meanwhile, closing the gap a little. He'll see if he can take advantage of a little lap traffic, as they're going to hit some heavy back markers here very soon. Fourth of the way through the Durboraw McBee Tribute. 10 laps on the board here in tonight's 41-lap Super Late Model Feature event. And the 4 of Gary Stuhler off the pace down the back straightaway as he just goes a lap down. He started just outside the top 10 on the inside of row number 6. Stuhler hits the back pits as the leaders come back for lap number 11. Satterley around the 5 of Chad Julius. Weaver trying to stay in his tire tracks as best he can. Further back, going to be Trevor Feathers. He won that battle with Rick Eckert. Now he's opened up a little bit of daylight by a couple of car lengths. Ziegler not far back on the high side in 5th. 6th position still going to Matt Cosner. 7th on the track now to Justin Can. Cosner's coming to life, or Can's going backwards, one or the other. 45 of Kyle Hardy. He along with Matt Spinagle, Kyle Lee. They're the drivers in the top 10 here at the 12-lap mark. Still about 5 car length separation. The 5 of Chad Julius now will head off into the pit area here on lap number 12. As the leaders make their way off at turn number 4, Satterley to the inside of Jacob Piper. 1 lap car separating him from Justin Weaver as they work it back into 1 and 2. A lot of lap traffic. Everybody, for the most part, in front of the leaders are single file. Watching Satterley, he'll work the high side. Weaver down bottom. Different lines taken by these drivers working through lap traffic. They get around the 21P of Jacob Piper. And now Satterley goes to work on the Consi winner, beating winner Jim Bernheisel down the back straightaway. Son Brandon Bernheisel just in front. As Satterley just continues to try and carve it up and keep Justin Weaver at bay. He's got 2 cars side by side to the outside of Jim Bernheisel. And Weaver still can't quite close that gap. It stayed about the same between those 2 drivers, even in the lap traffic here at lap 15. Trevor Feathers still in 3rd spot. He's working lap traffic likewise. Rick Eckert holding on to 4th. Mason Ziegler in the number 5 position. Matt Cosner in 6th. Going to be Justin Can back in 7th. A side-by-side battle with 8th. That's Matt Spinagle, Kyle Lee with the 0 of Andrew Yoder. Rounding out the top 10, in trouble for the 45 of Kyle Hardy. He dropped out moments ago. The Saggy Tribute winner has headed off into the pit area, getting a push and a tough break for the Stevens City, Virginia driver. Satterley, meanwhile, back to the strike. Lap 17 of tonight's 41 laps on the board. We have been green all the way so far as he continues to work lap traffic to the inside of Brandon Bernheisel. As Justin Weaver tries to keep pace, 2 lap cars separating the leader from 2nd position as they work turn 3 and 4. Lap 18 coming back on the board this time by. Double 0, Andy Anderson now pulls his late model off into the pit area. Lap number 18 now making 19 on the board here in tonight's Durboraw McBee Tribute event. Meanwhile, the leader back to the strike. That's going to be Satterley. Gets around the 68 of Nathan LaSalle. Begins to work on the 24. And that would be the Jim Yoder machine. And now about 4 lap cars in between the leader and 2nd place. And all the while, we're watching 2nd to 3rd as Trevor Feathers now begins to come to life. He, along with Rick Eckert, closing on the 3. Justin Weaver just a little bit more. Could have a battle for the runner-up spot ensuing here in lap traffic as we hit the halfway point here in tonight's Durboraw McBee Tribute event. Good solid turn advantage, if not more, for Greg Satterley. So he handled lap traffic once he entered into it very nicely. Justin Weaver continuing to struggle a little bit, and that has brought Trevor Feathers right up to his rear deck plate just about. Only a car length separation, so the battle for 2nd could be changing hands. 0 of Eckert right there in 4th position, followed by 25Z of Mason Ziegler. Leaders down into turn number 3 and 4. It's going to be Satterley back to the stripe for lap number 23. We'll keep our eyes on that battle for second through some lap traffic. Weaver's gone. Jim Bernheisel just in front. And Trevor Feathers and Rick Eckert, they resume their battle again for that number 3 position. Eckert starting to chew away down low. 21P of Jacob Piper, the latest driver, to head off into the pit area as the leaders make their way back. 25 laps in the board tonight here in the Durboraw McBee Tribute Race. Oh, Greg Satterley will find Matt Spinagle and Gene Knob side by side, but again, he has got plenty of time, about a straightaway advantage to dissect traffic. All the while we were looking at that, Trevor Feathers getting around Justin Weaver. That will put him up into the number 2 position. Rick Eckert not far behind in 4th. And again, Mason Ziegler in 5th. Justin Can in 6th position. Kyle Lee back in 7th. 8th on the track, the 0 of Andrew Yoder. And after that, going to be the 11H of Keith Jackson. And the 24, Dylan Yoder, drivers in that top 10 here at lap number 26. Satterley working turn 4. Again, we've stayed green the entire time as he works it back to the stripe. The interval back to Trevor Feathers. As Satterley hits turn 1, Feathers just exiting off of turn number 4. So the Indiana-Pennsylvania driver has definitely gone back to life and made amends after some issues in the Saggy Tribute event. And as we mentioned, picked up the Appalachian Speedway portion of the event here at Hagerstown Speedway. So he didn't get the sweep this year that he was looking for like he did in 2023. But a very dominating effort right now for that Pennsylvania machine as he works the outside. Gene Knob down the back straightaway. Lap number 29 will be concluded when they work it back to the stripe here in a moment. Feathers still about 5 car lengths over Weaver. Another 6 or 7 back to Rick Eckert in that 4th position. Mason Ziegler is comfortably in 5th as those drivers continue to work some lap traffic. All the while well down to Satterley as he'll put lap number 30 on the board here in tonight's Durboraw McBee Tribute event. 11 circuits to go for a $4,400 payday and a lot of lap money. Also for Greg Satterley right now. Ten to go, that time by. 31 on the board, 41 in tonight's Durboraw McBee Tribute. Satterley tracking him off at turn number 2 to the inside of the lap machine of Keith Jackson down the back straightaway as he begins to break into drivers in that top 10. Again, it's still Trevor Feathers holding on to 2nd. He distances himself from Justin Weaver. Eckert still back in 4th, and Mason Ziegler closing the gap up a little bit. Eckert also trying to catch Ziegler or make it Weaver off of that 4th turn and try to shuffle the deck a little bit outside the top 2 positions in that top 5. Satterley, meanwhile, off at turn number 4. Lap 33 on the board. 8 to go this time by. Eckert got around Weaver moments ago. Mason Ziegler's turn as he begins to close on the Clear Spring, Maryland driver. All the while, it's going to be Satterley coming off at turn number 4 for lap number 34 here in tonight's 41-lap event. Watching the leaders also off at turn number 4. Trevor Feathers back in 2nd spot, still comfortable. Rick Eckert 3rd, Weaver 4th, Ziegler holding on to the number 5 position. Kyle Lee holding on to 6th. 7th on the track going to be Justin Can. 8th to the 0 of Andrew Yoder. 9th would be Dylan Yoder. And those are drivers still trying to hold on for dear life as they come back for lap number 36. Little breathing room for Satterley right now. Still a few lap cars in front, but again, clear sailing as he's almost opened up a half-track lead. Bringing it back to the stripe for lap number 37 here in tonight's event. Trevor Feathers still comfortably in the number 2 position. A little bit of smoke spewing from that car, whether it was a tire rub or not. Rick Eckert back there in 3rd spot. Justin Weaver holding on to 4th. And looks like Mason Ziegler had some issues. Kyle Lee has since gotten around him and cracked the top 5 for the first time tonight. 38 on the board here at Hagerstown as Satterley works off at turn 2. And one driver way up in the marbles as the leader was coming underneath of him, that being the 68 of Nathan LaSalle. He did a lot of galloping up there in that loose dirt, but he was able to hold on to the car. Satterley got underneath of him and set sail. He's still got a couple of Yoders to deal with down the back straightaway. Lap 39 on the board. As the 2 to go indication went out just a moment ago. White flag in the air for Greg Satterley, the 2-time defending champion of the Durboraw Tribute, as he works it back into turn number 1 and 2 for the final time. And may not have to worry about stepping on the gas too hard. 3 cars dead ahead, but Satterley can cruise down that back straightaway with almost a full straightaway advantage. Kyle Hardy back in 2021, but for the last 3 years, Greg Satterley owns the Durboraw Tribute and does again in 2024. Coming home in 2nd, Trevor Feathers, trying to find his way to the crowd, and he gets it. Number 2, Rick Eckert will wind up 3rd. Justin Weaver holding on to the number 4 position, and top 5 tonight made up by Kyle Lee. Stamp to put on the end of the Super Late Model season here at the Hagerstown Speedway. There he is, folks, Greg Satterley. Super Late Model winner tonight in the Durboraw Tribute, picking up the $4,400 payday and winning a legendary race. Well, Greg, I'd say that was a little bit of a statement tonight. I don't know, did you expect it to go green, white, checkered the whole way, or were you kind of thinking something was going to happen there?
Oh, you never know. I mean, there's full field of good cars, so it's not like, anyone out here doesn't know what they're doing. So, we usually cautions unless someone has some bad luck or, flat. Everyone here races clean with everyone, and, we don't have a lot of crashes or adversity. So, I was happy. I don't know that I ever had a real good lead. I think on or off, whenever we got through the lap cars, I was able to pick them off pretty consistently, but man, 1 or 2 bad corners, if you get off pace, it really slows you down. So I was trying to not pinch myself behind him at the wrong time and just keep my speed up when I knew I couldn't pass him. But the car was really good. Thanks Hagerstown and the Durboraw family for this race. It's always so much fun coming here and racing Hagerstown. I love this place and just always seem to have good luck here. So. Thanks to the fans for coming and watching. We appreciate that. My family, my crew, Robbie, Drew, John, my dad, my wife, everyone else. I got to thank all my sponsors though that helped, get me here because it's certainly it's a team effort. Rocket, Kaiser Manufacturing, Classic Inc., Fast Andy Racing, VP Racing Fuels, Simpson Race Products, Integra Racing Shocks, Clements Racing Engines. Everyone that helps gets us here. It's a team effort. It's everyone else that all about wraps, AFCO brakes, whoever. Hopefully, I'm not forgetting anyone. But we're thankful to have a really good team and be able to perform well here. So, thanks again to everyone, and we'll look forward to being back here next year for sure.
Well, I certainly hope so. And I know we talked earlier when you got the Fast Time Award, but I want to tell you one thing. I wanted to ask you, what is it about Hagerstown Speedway that is so successful? I don't think you want to tell your secrets because you have got the corner of the market on this facility.
The guy that helps me is pretty good here. He's lived and raced here his whole life, so that certainly helps with the car and also just maybe help him where to be and when not to be at places on the racetrack. And over the years, just learned to race here probably as good as I race anywhere, I'm sure. So. It's fun. It's a blast coming to places that your car handles well and you can just move around and and be able to do that. So I wish we could, I could do that at more racetracks, but just certainly thankful to do it here.
3 times the winner of this event, 2-time defending champion coming in. It's got to mean something now that Ronnie's name was added back to it as well. Another iconic driver. It was a Durboraw tribute. I know we had the McBee Hayes Memorial for many years going back to the late 80s, and there was a lot of legendary names that found their way to victory lane, including Nathan Durboraw. But now the McBee name has been added back there. Any childhood memories of Ronnie McBee for you? I know I did, but I mean, I didn't know when you started, and actually if you ever got a chance to follow him in any way, shape, or form, or learn about him.
I don't think I ever got to watch him race, but I'm certainly familiar that he drove Bobby Allen's car, Robbie's dad's, I know, for a number of years, and had a lot of success. But definitely remember watching Nathan here when I was young, when my uncle used to come down here and race, like in the mid to late 90s, and he was always the best, you know, or one of the best. So to be able to race, you know, and I got to race with him some at the end of his career and got to know him a little bit. So that makes it a lot more appreciative and cool to win the race, especially when you got to know the guy a little bit. So again, thanks to the Durboraw family and the McBee family for having a memorial race for their guys, and it's an honor to be able to win them.
Well, you represent it very well. We're going to bring everybody in because we got a lot of people that want to see. I think that little one. Now, who's this little one right here?
That's my daughter.
Oh, she's anxious. Okay. One presentation. Here we go.
Got a watch coming from Reed's Jewelers and Michelle Unger, presenting second year in a row to the same driver. Very excited. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's nice.
He's got a watch collection now. Congratulations. Greg Satterley, great job. Thank you for the great memories here this year. From West Milton, Pennsylvania, scheduled to go on the tail of the 62 of Dylan Beavers out of Edgeville, West Virginia. 15 laps of distance. Here we go. Pure Stocks finale for the night here at Hagerstown. Oh, Caravello takes him off into 1 and 2, and what a log jam back behind there. Going to be the 03. That's Danny Walters. He had a good run the heat race. Started in the back, finished in second spot. He's challenging for the lead right now, but Caravello slams the door in lap number 1 action off of turn number 3 and 4. Right behind him going to be the 8R, and that'll be Blake Reed. He's had some good runs earlier this year, had some damage done to his car, sat out for a little bit. Oh, he almost spins it, gathers it back up, and then gets pushed, and we got several of them jamming together, but everybody able to continue. The 22 of Fogel's got some damage, and then Catlett and Fisher also coming to a halt or slowing down on the back straightaway, and looks like caution will be coming out. All right, field stacking up in turn 3 and 4. 2 of our 15 in the books tonight here at Hagerstown. As Caravello and Waters bring us back off at turn number 4. We're back under green. Now Caravello climbing the banking. That opens the door. Crossover move by Walters, and down to the bottom. Here comes Cody Sumption, and right behind him, Evan Faust. Very tight battle. 4 cars for 1 spot. And it is going to be Walters grabbing that lead down in 3 and 4. But for how long? As they work it off of that turn, about 5-6 cars right there jumbled together, and Keith Reed in the mix as well. And behind them, the 11A of James Spielman. The front is top heavy. 78 of Evan Faust to the outside of Caravello. He'll get second. As Walters holds the lead here on lap number 3. Caravello in 3rd, Sumption 4th, Lindenberg in the number 5 position. And it's Keith and Blake Reed side by side for 6th as Walters brings them back, and here goes Faust to the outside. 5-time winner looking for victory number 6. And it's going to be Faust on the outside, grabbing that number 1 position. Meanwhile, Randy Lindenberg wins that battle for 3rd. Caravello trying to get around Sumption on the high side to get 4th. And again, Keith and Blake Reed, good side-by-side battle for the number 6 spot with the 11A of James Spielman looking on. Everybody very tightly bunched together as they come back for lap number 5. And trouble for Walters that time, climbing the banking. Lindenberg, he went down low, and now they'll have a good side-by-side battle for the number 2 position. Give it to Lindenberg down into turn number 3. Caravello for the moment buys lonesome in 4th, and then the Reed bunch. Oh, and Sumption put it right in there, made contact with one of the Reed machines. He'll go around down in turn 4. All right, field stacked up. Here they come off turn number 4 as we resume and get close to the halfway point in tonight's 15-lap finale here at Hagerstown. It'll be Faust down bottom to the middle groove. We're up the banking he goes. Here comes Lindenberg down to the inside with the crossover move, and that's good enough for the number 1 spot. Down the back straightaway. Trouble for Caravello. He gets in the wall. And James Spielman could not avoid contact. He's got some damage as well. He's limping on. It could have been a lot worse, but caution, back out. All right, here we go again. Faust and Lindenberg on that front row. Walters, as well as the 30 of Sumption. He's back in that field. 19 of Mike Fuller also trying to get up in there. Field going back to green here on lap 7. Now Lindenberg with a shove, he won't let up. And here goes Walters to the bottom side. Battle. Your 3 winners are right there together. It's going to be Walters taking the number 1 spot. Faust has to make it up to do. Lindenberg coming after him. Here comes Reed as well. And now Walters out of shape, can't handle it. Climbs up the banking, Faust to the inside, grabs the number 1 spot down the back straightaway. Lindenberg a very tight 3rd. Reed in 4th, 32 of Tyler Fisher, top 5. Faust back in front. Here comes Lindenberg back down to the inside. Keith Reed and Tyler Fisher, they make up the top 5 here in tonight's feature event. And they're very tightly bunched together. 42 of Andrew Seffel, 64 of William Crook, and the 30 of Cody Sumption. Back in 6th, 7th, and 8th with Ecton Sr. of the 67 rounding out the field. 9 laps complete this time by. And Keith Reed that time climbing the banking. Fisher trying to see if he can get down to the bottom side. Closes up the gap. Faust by about 3 car lengths right now. As the top 2 take the high line. Going to be the 03 of Walters a little bit further down. 5 to go as Evan Faust searching for victory. Number 6. Little by little, Evan Faust stretching that advantage out. Lindenberg, few car lengths over Danny Walters. Another 6 back to Keith Reed, and here they come after him. Tyler Fisher, Seffel, and Sumption. They're stacked up from 4th on back. Seffel to the inside of Fisher. He wants the top 5. And now Cody Sumption gets around Seffel. So that ongoing battle from 5th on back. Fisher, Sumption, and Seffel still nose to tail as they work it back for lap number 12. 3 circuits to go for Evan Faust. Top 4 positions pretty well secure. Cody Sumption trying to make amends for losing his car over in turn 1 and 2 earlier tonight, or make it 3 and 4. He's gathered it back up. He's back in the top 5, getting around the 32 of Tyler Fisher moments ago. But laps are winding down. 2 to go, this time by for Evan Faust. Lindenberg comfortably in 2nd. Walters likewise in 3rd. Reed in 4th. And the 30 of Sumption now making up the top 5. Almost a half-track lead to make it half straight away for Evan Faust as the white flag about set to come out as he looks for win number 6. Down the back straightaway for the final time. It has been a dream season for the Knoxville, Maryland driver had to start well back in the order by virtue of the handicapping system, but Evan Faust checks in for victory number 6 in this pure stock season here at Hagerstown. Randy Lindenberg will wind up in second. Coming home in third, going to be the 03. A great night for Danny Walters. Side by side, Cody Sumption still didn't give up. He gets back around Keith Reed and takes the number 4 position. As you head out, give it up for Evan Faust. Victory number 6 in pure stock competition here in 2024. Manhandles that car. Oh, don't hurt it, Evan. Come on now. Now you got the car crying because you beat the top of it so bad it's crying. That's okay. Hey, another tough one out there tonight on a summer in August, but victory number 6.
Yeah, like I said, thank Jesus first off. We got that on the back of the car. We're gonna keep doing that. Nothing's possible without him. Yeah, I knew we got a pretty good lick there out for 2, and I was worried about it. You could hear him making a funny noise. I wasn't sure if the radiator was cracked or wasn't spitting water. And we were really good off of 3 down here. And I knew I was going to keep that in my back pocket all night long. And race Limbaugh good. Got me on a restart. We kind of slid one another. Got tagged on another restart. Had it about as crossed up as I've ever been and not spun out. And once I saved it, I was putting this one in the tag.
You did get the benefit of a caution. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't got back around Randy. That one time the car went up the bank and on the restart, Randy kind of did the crossover, got underneath it, but then a quick caution came right back out. So that was kind of one like, all right, cool. Now we're going to do the reset. We're going to do this right this time.
Yeah, on the first one, I threw it off in there on the low side and tried to slide back across. He made the right move and turned down underneath of me. And then I got back to the outside and the caution came out down here. And the next one, I've changed how I restarted because he's so good on the restarts, and ran him down the front straightaway. I knew we were about even. I could see him, so I kind of held him out there, made sure he was committed to the high side. Kind of gave myself a little bit of room, but somewhere in there, I think that's where I got crossed up and somebody hit me, but it was a good race. It was fun.
Who would you like to thank tonight, Evan?
My uncle, first off. I mean, not all this isn't possible without him. My family, my dad. We're just working hard, like I said, every week. Danny, Aaron, my cousin Keegan's been showing up, being a big help. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I almost just show up and drive. They're kidding me, telling me I'm Kyle Larson, but I'll take it, man. I just, if I could
Just need to get some Kyle Larson paychecks, right?
Yeah, not that I'm driving like him by any means, but just they're telling me I'm a prima donna now. So, but if they want to do the work and help me focus on running the car, I'll take it because we had 29 cars here tonight, so got to keep an eye on the track, try to keep the game plan on what you're doing, seeing what everybody's doing out here. So just got to thank them guys, and I'll take the hard time.
All right, victory number 6. Back to work this weekend and this week, and back here next Saturday night, looking for number 7.
It's nice to be able to get back-to-back weeks. You kind of take a couple weeks off and just feel rusty and like it's like your first time again. So hopefully the weather's good next Saturday night. We come right back out here with everybody and do it again.
All right, Evan, congratulations.
You too.
All right, Evan Faust checking in. Win number 6 in pure stock action at Hagerstown this year.